I've always been someone with a somewhat busy mind. I think about a lot. I think about the future a lot. And I don't think about the past much at all. I don't dwell on the past much. There's that saying, isn't there, that like depression is living in the past, anxiety is living in the future. Although I wouldn't describe myself as an anxious person, I would definitely say that I tend to think about the future more than the past, certainly. When I'm riding, I'm forced to focus on what I'm doing. And I find it really quiets my mind because I'm just focused on not dying. It's never wasted on me how dangerous riding a motorcycle is. Yeah, what changes in my mind when I'm on that bike is that my mind goes quiet. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that feeling because it's difficult for me to accomplish that. I think most guys in their day-to-day lives, we're often thinking about other people. And we're often thinking about what it is we've got to get done. And I think that's why a lot of guys love doing things like riding motorcycles or boxing or kickboxing or jiu-jitsu because you really are forced to be fully present. It's quite simple, really. Throwing on a leather jacket, putting on a pair of like heavyweight jeans, raw jeans, and jumping on a bike with no real destination in mind is powerful because it's the opposite of what most men are told they've got to do the rest of the time. Especially in today's day and age, there is this message out there that men, you got to make something of yourself and you need to provide for people and yourself and blah, blah, blah. We've all heard it. And I'm not dismissing it, right? I think a large amount of that stuff is accurate and true. But, like everything in life, there is like a balance to be had. I think like riding is really just tapping into a moment of solitude for yourself. It certainly is for me. In the modern age, it's very rare for any of us to be not alone, because I think a lot of people are alone. There's numerous ways to interpret that word, right? But I think solitude is quite rare, like positive solitude. And in this, 21st century where we're so connected, we're so like ultra connected to each other and the algorithm. And I think that solitude is something that people don't really seek out anymore. Or if they do, I'm not sure they know how to truly get it. And to be perfectly honest, right? Being alone and solitude is something that I quite enjoy. Riding for me is like a true moment of solitude. I think that there is something really beautiful about trying not to die whilst you're on two wheels, Does that make me strange? I'm not sure. When I'm riding, like a lot of the time, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just very, very present. Same with the jiu-jitsu thing. When I'm doing that, I'm just very, very, very present. And that's rare for me, I find it hard to be there. I'm sure lots of people do. Like, I'm not some cool dude who rides Harleys and, I'm a guy who wants to be a cool guy riding Harleys. And, I'll always be that guy. Like when I was a musician, I was always the fan first and then became like a musician and then was in a band and then we had shirts and CDs and people come in and we were signing stuff. But I was always a fan first and I always stayed rooted to that. Never identified as like the cool guy, always identified as like the person who wanted to be a cool guy and enjoyed that. I think if you strip it all back, I think really it's just about self-expression. It really just is about expressing myself and to myself, right? It's not about posing. There's something in there for me which is connected to like a freedom, and I know it sounds cliche, cheesy, but it's kind of like a freedom from myself, a freedom from my own busy mind. It really is to me like a meditation. At the end of the day, that's what it is. You're just off meditating in the wind, right? If you have something like this, it can be a really useful tool for life. Everyone leads a stressful life. Everyone has like problems. Like, what is it that you could do that might create some space and force you into that presence of mind? There's got to be something, right? And you got to find that thing. And I think that's down to the individual. When I get home from a ride or I get home from training, I always feel better than I did. Always. And that is just, you can take all this like philosophical, like, stuff, and you can sweep that to one side. But essentially, if you think it might make you just a little bit better, then it's probably worth doing. I've never regretted going out for a blast on my bike. I've never regretted a workout. I've never regretted turning up to jiu-jitsu. Do you know what I mean? And I think that finding something like that is a real gift. If you can show up just a little bit better than you were an hour ago or yesterday or whatever, anything that helps you live your life, I think is worth pursuing. I know it was for me, right?